All right, guys, here we go again with another fishing report here from Kentucky Lake, and it has turned summertime fast. I can't believe that the 4th of July is here upon us already. Halfway through the summer, before you know it, kids will be back in school. But we made it through June. Last time I think I did a report, it's been a few weeks ago, but not a lot changed, for those few weeks. Usually when those fish first come out, they get out there, kind of get settled in, and it's pretty good fishing for a few weeks. Now that the dog days of summer are here, it's going to start. Things are going to start changing. So I kind of thought I'd hop on here, give you a rundown. Right here before the 4th of July weekend. Hard to believe it's here, but here it is upon us. So if you guys get out this weekend, take care of yourself. Drink lots of water, drink lots of fluid. I know that I've had a lot of kids with me for the junior high school championship that's coming up, maybe like the end of the month, I think. Man, those kids don't ever drink any water. I guess you can do that when you're young, but I couldn't do it. But anyway, kind of a side note there. But take care of yourself. It's going to be hot. Get out there, have some fun this weekend, whether you're boating with family or friends or getting out fishing, whatever it may be. But we're going to talk Kentucky Lake fishing right now. Like I said, we've gotten through the majority of the good fishing season here. Month of June is come and gone. And for the most part, it fished really good. I found lots of schools this year. And I will say this, and I've shared this with a few people. I feel like I found more offshore last year than I did this year. And I've said every year that it's gotten better and better and better. Ever since the lake started, it's, coming back, so to speak. It's not declining. It's gotten better and better every year. But this year, for some reason, it seems like I found more fish last year than I did this year as far as numbers of schools. Schools are still, you can find those big schools of fish, 50, 75. I never found that place where I thought there was 100 in it. I heard a little bit of chatter out there, but maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I'm not seeing those great big schools like we used to have. And for the most part, there was plenty to go around. One thing I touched on in my last report is fishing pressure, and I'll touch on that for just a minute, just so a lot of you high school kids that are coming to fish the high school and junior deal at the end of the month are kind of aware of it. I've shared it with a few of you, but this lake does not have the population of fish in it that it once did. Now, is it going to get there again? I hope so. We're far from it. The difference now versus then, you had a whole lot more fish in the schools and you had less people fishing. Now, there were a lot of people fishing, but compared to today, there was not that many people out there. So you had, let's say, 100 fish in a school and you've got 50 boats rotating them. Those fish can stand that pressure a little bit more so than what they can now. Now, there's 20 fish in that school and you've got 500 boats rotating them. No kidding. There's more people fishing today than there ever has been. It's great. I love seeing it, but it's harder to catch a bass. I don't care where it is in the country, whether it's Kentucky Lake, Chickamauga, anywhere on the Tennessee River. Tennessee River ledge fishing has changed, no doubt, 100% with fishing pressure and technology. But fish are harder to catch right now today than they ever have been. But anyway, you kind of got to be prepared for finding those schools of fish that have been beat on all summer. We've been playing a ring around the rosy out there and just hammering the same schools of fish. And that's why I always tell people, and I'm guilty of it as anybody, but going to a lot of the same places where you've caught them, it's easy to do. They're there. You don't have to look for them, and everybody wants to get bit, right? You want to feel that bite. You want to feel the tug. But staying on the big motor, staying on your electronics and idling around looking, you're going to learn a whole lot more about what's going on than you will just sitting on one spot catching a bunch of fish. But we all love to do it. Don't get me wrong. I love to sit on a place when they're biting, but don't be surprised here on out. Now that summertime's gotten here, and what I mean by summer, it is extremely hot outside right now. I'm doing like 4 to 5 hours in the morning, and that's it. I was doing a lot of afternoon trips. I'm not even doing that right now, but For the most part, TVA is not pulling a whole lot of water. Maybe in the afternoons when people get home cranking their air conditioners up, I would assume that the afternoon evening bite's probably going to be a little bit better. That happens every year. This time of year, when it gets hot, normally we can make it through the second week of July before this real hot stuff gets here. Unfortunately, we didn't. And I'm already seeing indications of it starting to get really tough. You can still find schools of fish. A lot of schools of fish that you found are disappearing. It's happening to me every day. I'm going in like, man, these have just gone. They're gone. And that's completely normal. You're going to see that. And what's going to happen is those fish, as it gets hotter and hotter, they're going to start coming up. They don't go deep. They're going to start coming up. They'll start getting shallower. And the last couple of weeks, or the last week or so, more so, if you've been on the water, you'll notice a lot of the little bait, and I'm not 100% certain what they are, if it's the emerald shiners or, I mean, I'm seeing some threadfin too, but the bait starts showing up this time of year. Every year when it gets hot like this, you'll start seeing these clouds of bait all over your screen. When that happens and it gets dead slick and there's not any current, what also happens is those carp and catfish and gar, everything starts coming up to the surface. And you'll notice it on your graphs. It's hard to see the difference. A lot of times you'll mistake, school of what you think are bass, maybe cats or something. But you've got to really pay attention to what you're looking at, because it like I say, this happens every year. And I stare at these screens every single day, and I notice myself. I'm like, is that them? Is it not? I mean, this happens every year. Always has. As long as I've been fishing this lake, this happens when it gets hot. The clouds of bait start showing up on the main lake, and everybody's like, oh yeah, the bait's out here. Man, I've never seen so much bait. That's true, but then the fishing starts getting a lot tougher. You'll start seeing them scatter out. You'll start going to your schools to where they've been all summer. Let's say they was there the whole month of June, and then they start disappearing. They start scattering up, and they look like the old days of when you would pull up and you would see everything just kind of up off the bottom, scattered out, jumping around. They're not real grouped up, tight together, but it happens. It happens in July. Water level's pretty stable. Water clarity is pretty stable. We've had some recent rains, but there's nothing crazy. I mean, it's the biggest thing right now. For the most part, that heat comes in. That means no wind, which I'm thankful for, because it seems like this year it was extremely windy. But man, we're going to be looking for some wind here the next couple of weeks, I think. But dive into a few baits. I'm not going to get too carried away with bait selection. From here on out, it's going to be about plastic worms, soft plastics. The Busa from 6 cents, the shaky, the 6.5, I throw on a jig head a lot. If you just want to throw a Magnum shaky head, that bait right there, and then the Busa ribbon tail. If you like another whatever kind of ribbon tail worm, late summer Texas rig, 1/4 ounce with a 5/0 hook, the Busa ribbon tail. This bait right here is a really cool color that I like to throw. This is the Plum Dawn. So it's like a plum on one side, Morning Dawn on the other. And everybody knows, if you fish with me or read my reports, that the Morning Dawn Glitch from 6 cents is the only drop shot bait you need out here. And then the Bambusa for the Nico rig. Still catching a few on a Nico. So Nico with an 1/8 ounce weight or 3/16, depending on how deep you're fishing. And then the drop shot, 1/4 ounce weight with a 1/0 nose hook. No secret, they bite a drop shot, they bite a Nico rig. When it gets tough, you're going to have to start finessing them. Surprisingly enough, I've still got, right here at the 1st of July, I've still got a handful of places where I'm catching them on like a 3/4 ounce 6/0 jig head with a 5-inch Ignite Frenzy. This is Kentucky Lake Special. This is Sexy Shad. That's the only 2 colors I throw. 5-inch. And the thing about it is, if you pull up on these places and maybe you don't feel like they've been pressured as bad, maybe they've got a little bit of break, you can pull up on a swim bait and catch them. You can catch a good one or two. You're not just going to sit there and catch every fish in the school on a swim bait, but pick up your big baits first. Your crankbait. I've got a handful of places I'm still catching them on a Crush 300, Blue Truce, Chartreuse Blue. Not very many, but as the summer goes on, those fish get pressured and they're going to get off of the swim bait crankbait deal. Now, a topwater bait, the catwalk, have that tied on, laying on your deck. Fish are starting to really get active on the surface. You'll see a lot of whites coming up. The white bass are coming up, jumping. There's a lot of largemouth and smallmouth even coming up. You'll see them popping. If you can get on them quick enough with like that or a dogma, spook style baits, walking baits, always have that handy this time of year. And then a spoon, the Nichols Mini Mag 6.5 inch or the Magnum spoon. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of those fish that are tough to catch, I'm still catching a few decent ones on the spoon. Like I say, for the most part, the big baits are going to start slowing down, and you'll see the next few weeks. The big worm, the big Texas rig worm, the bambusa, the drop shot, and then like a casting jig. This is the definite watermelon, the Dirty Jigs 9/16 ounce casting jig with the bongo. I believe it's called Sunfish, 4K Sunfish on the back of that. A lot of times those fish will get tricky to catch, and a lot of times you can stroke that jig up when it's slack current, and you can kind of get, it's kind of old school. I mean, it is old school. It's been around. And then the Shendo. I can't do a fishing report in 2026 without talking about the minnow style baits on a jig head. Fish get pressured, and you're good with forward facing sonar. You can catch some fish on the minnow style baits, no doubt about it. I don't have any urchins laying up here. 6 Sense has actually sent me some of the abstracts. I've been playing with them a little bit. I'm not going to get on here and say, oh yeah, I'm catching a ton of fish on the abstract, because I've not spent a lot of time with it. Probably spend some more time in the off season playing with that technique. But I'm sure there's some of you guys are out there catching them. But that's kind of it in a nutshell as far as the fishing. It's gotten hot. Fish are going to be pressured. They've been pressured for a month now. Don't be surprised you go out there and you start seeing some of those fish kind of scattering out. You'll start seeing them. This is the time of year that people get confused. They think they go, I think I touched on this a little bit. They think they go out deep. They don't necessarily go out deep. You know, I'm not going to get on here and pretend I know a whole lot about thermocline and how all that works, but when it gets hot, lakes start to turn over. Fish will get above the thermocline, but they do here on this lake. They start getting way up on top of that stuff in 8-10 foot of water, sometimes even shallower. And don't overlook the brush piles, shallow brush piles. You'll see the minnows. There's minnows all over the lake right now. This is also a good time of year to pick, and I didn't lay one out here, but this is a great time of year to pick up a white swim jig or a little like 1/4 ounce, 3/16, 3.2 divine, and just wind it around lay downs. If you see a green tree in the water that's fresh from a storm or a wind or it's laid down, go fish it. There's some fish around it. It happens every year this time of year, but that's kind of what's going on out on Kentucky Lake. 4th of July is here, and you guys get out there, have some fun this weekend. Talk to you real quick. For you guys that have followed me for a long time, I appreciate everybody who tunes in and watches my fishing report. It's actually kind of overwhelming how many people actually watch this thing and kind of count on it. But you guys know that I used to be with Hitec Outdoors. I worked with Matt Quinn and those guys up there. And in the last couple of years, Hitec changed hands. And me and a couple of the other guys who used to be at Hitec, we actually went and started our own little install shop and started doing some things on our own. And in recent, here in the last few months, Hitec, it's rebranded to Hitec Marine now. They have acquired Vexus boats. And as you guys know, I am a rep, a sub rep under Jason Parsons for Vexus boats, and represent him and call on a lot of dealers, especially during boat show time. Hitec Marine has picked up Vexus boats. So I'm going to actually be working with those guys again. So anything Vexus boats, Marine Electronics, all the major brands, a lot of you are still doing business over there, but I would invite you to come over there, see us, check out what they're doing over there. They're doing some really, really cool stuff. I mean, they've no longer than they've been selling boats over there at that shop. They've done a really, really good job for us there at Vexus Boats, and they're selling some boats. Aluminum, fiberglass, they've always got stuff to look at, but I'm going to be working with those guys from now on, moving forward. and look forward to seeing a lot of you. You know, in the off season, I'll be spending a good bit of time in there, whether it's selling boats or electronics, whatever it may be. Nothing's changing on my end as far as the guide business. Still representing Vexus boats, still guiding full-time, marine electronics, all of that. Nothing's changing, but you will see me popping in and out of Hitec Marine there occasionally, and they'll have some events coming up this fall and this winter that I'll be a part of, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be able to take a brand that you know, I've got a really good relationship with a lot of the guys over there at Vexus, and it goes back to the good old Ranger days, I call it. Randy Hopper, Keith, Jason Parsons, Matt Rayner, Lance, all those guys over there, Ron Patterson, all those guys over there. It's a great bunch of guys, and when they started Vexus Boats, you know, I knew that I wanted to be a part of it pretty quick, and I'm excited, number one, to have the brand here on Kentucky Lake, and I'm excited to be able to do it all under one roof. And it's just going to be easier for me to moving forward to go that route. We're going to sell you some boats. We're going to sell you some electronics. You know, they've got a really good staff up there that take care of the ins and outs, the everyday stuff. But looking forward to that. Looking forward to that relationship and growing that, and kind of getting back in the swing of things there, all under one roof. If you're looking for anything marine electronics, come up there and see us. On-water training. I'm still doing my on-water training, guide trips. Right now, I'm running probably through, I know I've booked through July right now, booking into August. So any of you guys that want to get on the water, it's a great time of year to learn, see what's on the graph, you know, whether it's Humminbird, Garmin, Lowrance. I'll do all three brands of on-water training. If you guys want to get a fishing trip, get on the books for late summer, early fall, shoot me an email at info@brandonhunterfishing.com, and I will see you guys on the water.